Hi everyone, it's Kim Dellow here, and today my video is a peek into my art journal. I'm sharing the making of this page using gouache paint, acrylic paint and a paint pen. You can find all the products listed underneath. Some of you may recognise this make as I did use it as a clip in one of my mini art slicer videos. So if you did see that video, this is how I made the full project, but if you missed that video, then you can catch up with all my art slice videos via the link card. This page just happened to be built on a test page from my junk journal where I had tested out some colours or cleaned off some excess paint from a tool from a previous project. There's already a couple of layers of acrylic paint on it with ink drips, and I thought it would make a really nice texture for what I wanted to do, and it just sort of appealed as I flicked through my book. I didn't have any idea in mind when I picked this page, it just sort of spoke to me when I was looking for something to work on. As you can see, I'm using a black Sharpie, and it's one of the water-based paint pens, to draw a heart and floral motif over the surface. The idea for this piece came to me as I found the page to work on. I wanted something relatively simple, but that still had lots of colour and texture. I've also been doing a lot of line work with watercolours recently, so this was an extension of that. The idea was not to completely cover the surface with line, but to have a selection of open areas, like the heart, and more detailed areas, like the florals. Once I'd finished putting down the main design in pen, I then blocked out the area around the design with white acrylic paint. Let the acrylic paint dry completely, then cover the white area with gouache paint. And I'm using the Turner Acrylic Gouache, and the one I'm using is the colour Pearl Red, which is a lovely coral colour. The colour Pearl colours in this range, they're all pearlescent, so they have a lovely sparkle. I didn't want the paint to be applied too thinly, as I'm going to distress it in a little while. Having covered the surface with paint, I felt it was just a little bit too blocky, so I decided to distress it, add a little bit more texture. The trick to this is to use a scraper like a plastic card, such as the old credit cards or the gift cards that I'm really fond of using at the moment, and scraping it over the drying paint. Paint that is still wet will lift off, so you want the paint to be partly dry with some wet patches. You can always add a little bit more water, like I'm doing with a brush, or by spritzing a surface, just to help it along. So if you are working on paint that will not lift off, add a bit of hand sanitizer gel to the areas you want to lift off to dissolve those areas. That works really well when you're distressing acrylic paints, because acrylic paints, once they're dry, they're not going to react to water anymore. For the final touches to the page, I've gone back in with my paint pen once the surface was dry, just to touch up the design where it has been covered with paint and to add some more line motif work. Here are some close-up pictures of the finished page, with the original colour just peeking through that line work and the lovely distressed colour Pearl Red gouache paint. Hope you enjoyed watching the page come together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.